Hi friends, I have had a lot of, oh man, I have my lines on here now. That's okay. Hi friends, I have had a lot of you ask me about the lines that we do on our record bases and rims and why we do them. And so I drew these, but I will redraw them for you. But this is kind of the lines that we want on our maxillary cast. We don't grade these for the practical, but it's important to know what they are and what they mean as you go through your tooth arrangement. So the first thing we do is we're going to circle 3 landmarks. We want to circle the incisive papilla, and we want to circle the tuberosities. So the tuberosities are here and here. So the incisive papilla is a reference for where we position our anterior teeth on the denture. The tuberosities are a reference for where we position our posterior teeth on the denture. The other landmark that you see marked here is going to be the crest of the ridge. So you want to draw the center of the crest of the ridge, and if you just draw your pencil across the top, it'll kind of automatically go to the crest point. So we draw these 2 lines and we carry them onto the cast, onto the land area, because once your record base is over this, you can't see this line anymore. So having this here on the back of the cast and this here on the front of the cast will tell you where that is. And we do the same thing on this side, crest of the ridge, carry it onto the land area at the anterior and posterior portion of it. The other lines that we have, I mark the anterior portion of the tuberosity on this side and the anterior portion of the tuberosity on this side, and that's going to help dictate where our posterior teeth stop. Last but not least, we're marking through the center of the incisive papilla, and we're carrying that line across. You can use your ruler to help guide you. Carry that line across to the land area on either side. This one I have marked wrong the first time. So I'm going to erase. So I have my line mismarked, so I'm just abrading that. So now I have my lines where they should be for incisive papilla on either side, the crest of the ridge, and the tuberosities. Okay, so now this correlates to your wax rim the same as the tooth arrangement. The second molars are going to stop around here, so that's where your wax rim will end. You'll end your wax rim at the anterior portion of the tuberosity up to halfway through the tuberosity. So you don't want your wax rim to go past this line here. So you can stop it anywhere in this area. This here, where we mark the center through our incisive papilla, will be the posterior portion of the anterior rim. So if you're imagining your horseshoe, the back of the horseshoe will go through here, through the incisive papilla. The front of the horseshoe will be 7 to 9 millimeters anterior to that. So you'll take your ruler, measure 7 to 9 millimeters. And then this is going to dictate where your posterior wax rim is centered over the crest of the ridge. We want it to be very slightly buccal. So usually we'll have 2 to 3 millimeters on this side of the line and 6 to 7 millimeters on this side of the line. So slightly less lingual than buccal, if that makes sense. Less wax lingual and more wax on the buccal. Because the maxillary teeth sit slightly buccal to the mandibular teeth in the posterior. So those are your lines, and that's what they mean. On the mandibular, you circle your tuberosity, On the mandibular, you circle your retromolar pads. So we have that one highlighted there and that one highlighted there. And now we're just going to do the same crest of the ridge lines. So I'm going to mark a line going across the mandibular crest of the ridge in the posterior and across the anterior crest of the ridge. So we end up with something like this. And then you can use a ruler, or you can just carry it across with your pencil and mark that on your land area. So we're going to do the same thing on this side. And then we're going to do the same thing here. And the same thing here. And the same thing back here. And the same thing back here. So now when our record base is on top of this cast and we can't see our lines anymore, you'll still be able to see these reference marks on the land area. We're going to use these to center the mandibular rim over the crest of the ridge. So for the mandibular arch, the denture teeth, and therefore the preceding wax rim should be directly over the crest of the ridge, centered over it. So your maxillary wax rim and incisors should follow this line, and the central fossas of your mandibular teeth will follow this line. That's all there is to it. So easy. Oh, one more landmark. We're going to also want to mark the retromolar pad, right? This is going to dictate the posterior portion of your rim and your occlusal plane. So we divide this into thirds, and we're going to mark right here, 2/3 the height of the retromolar pad, and that is where the posterior wax rim should finish. There you go.